Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. Coming up to your, currently in your last day of being a 27-year-old.
It's what you call the birthday eve.
Yeah.
I know a lot of, I was going to say girls, I don't want to chunk all women into one big pot there.
You don't want to be stereotyping.
Kind of very maybe like your first year, second year uni, teenage girl birth week.
Birthday week,
they throw out there.
Yeah.
Bit
of a shocker.
It's been it's birthday eve. I've been chucking the birthday out there at school. Letting the kids know. That's the nice thing about teaching in a collaborative space. You've got 75 of them rather than just 25, 30.
Yep.
So it's 75 kids who are well aware that tomorrow is the big day now. Sharing it with 3 others in the class, which is quite cool. 2 twins and another girl. So I want to say we're having a big party tomorrow, but I don't think we will. But Tuesday is probably my least favourite day to teach, based off the fact that there's nothing extra thrown into the mix. It's just it's your maths, your reading, your writing, and then usually a little bit of art in the afternoon, and kind of hover around and help where I can with the old art. But it's sort of run by the other 2 women that I teach with. They're the artistes of the group.
Yeah.
Did quite a bit of cutting out today, which was my job. I'm trusted with the scissors, which is nice.
It's the labourers of the craftsman world, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. So,
the old, what do you call it? No farmers, no food.
I can't say that.
No one chopping out bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Have you not seen them?
No, I don't think so.
I just can't add them. But
Maybe
I think it was back in the COVID days when the farmers couldn't do shit.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, well, this is stupid. But
yeah, birthday eve, you could say. What are we? We're 3 hours and 17 minutes away from, well, technically not, I believe.
What time did you arrive?
Full birthing, I believe, 2:43 p.m.
Okay.
So, we're actually not 28 till we roll around there.
Well over 12 hours to go.
Yeah. Tomorrow afternoon, I've already put in my request. I said that I'll be leaving the same time as the kids, so I'm gonna have my stuff packed up and hopefully just roll out the door at the same time as them, 3 o'clock. I'm thinking gonna get day 137 in at lunchtime.
What's the tide like?
I think tide's about 1:30ish. I haven't actually checked, but that's just what I'm gauging based off how the tide's been the last few days.
Where do you go for a Burko?
I'll be going, I don't know what you'd call it anymore, beach maybe. It's quite rocky, so it has to be high tide. I'm gonna ask Saundy tomorrow. She's a sort of Burko, Beach Haven local there. It's around the corner from the wharf there, yeah, where that little park is, bottom where we'd skate down the hill.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna ask Saundy, see what she says is the best beach as such to swim out. I want to go somewhere where there's actually sand, because I know that there's quite a lot of
big sand dude. Yeah.
I'm not a big sand dude. I fucking hate sand, to be fair.
Oh yeah, no, but in terms of the beach surfaces, sand number 1, rocks 2, and then fucking obviously you can't really call it a beach, but mud and mangroves and that sort of shit.
But
it's just
down at Honeymoor, you've got a few those big oyster shells that have fallen off the rocks, and it's quite and I don't really want to be standing on one of those. I'm not swimming in shoes.
That's not a good birthday present that you want a foot sliced in two.
I don't really. I'm not a big fan of jumping off a wharf that you've never jumped off before by yourself.
Know the surroundings.
You got to know your surroundings. You got to, and also these days
have a guinea pig.
The airs. I feel like if I go off and do a little manu, and then end up with a ring in air for the rest of the day, I'm not going to be too stoked. So we're thinking I'm going to try and get a lunchtime swim in. If not, it'll be straight from work, straight for a swim, and then nothing planned really. It's just
28.
28. You know, there's a bit of footy on, but I'll probably be a bit tired come that. I mean,
There's no footy.
that's
Magic
That's
round.
magic round. You're right. It would have been bloody good to be catching a flight over there tomorrow. You know, as a birthday present to yourself. Take your Friday off work. Only bugger is, as a Tigers fan, is you have to stick it out the whole weekend playing the last game. But
True.
you're right. No footy. I kind of forgot all about that. No Thursday night footy. So it might be an early one. You know, getting on. You know, that 1 year older. You know, you have a cuppa, chuck your slippers on, and
Yeah, well, I mean, Origin coming up. It probably won't have a game on Thursday that week.
so you know.
But other than that, during the footy season, you don't get too many chances to nod off early on a Thursday.
You're right. So
if you're wanting to catch the game, of course.
that could possibly be on the cards tomorrow, but we'll wait and see. Enough about me. Enough about the old birth week as such. We'll have a little look at what we got into last week now. Starting off with your team of the week this week. We had a few players there that we're umming and ahhing about, but taking your number one this week, probably the one who should be taking the one there for New South Wales, I believe. Dylan Edwards, he's your fullback, bossing it there on the weekend.
100%. Up over the 250 metre mark, I believe, as usual. Outstanding from Dylan. Yeah, deserves that Origin number one jumper for sure. Whether or not Madge decides to stick with the old and James Tedesco or go with the new and Dylan Edwards, I guess it's sort of between those two now with Tommy Turbo pulling out of the race by default, I suppose. Pulling up lame with another hammy injury, which is rough news for Blues and Manly fans, but Dylan Edwards is killing it, and yeah, like you said, he deserves his shot, so wouldn't be surprised if he was in the side. Whether or not it is in that number one jumper, we'll see. He got picked on the wing for Aussie, so potential there, but I think, yeah, definitely deserves the Blues jumper. But joining him in the back three, so to speak, Dom Young had himself a great game up against the Wars. Scored a couple of meaties.
Was on, I think, 52 points on fantasy within 10 minutes, I believe.
Really, yeah, because they scored 4 tries in the first 15
Yeah,
minutes.
I was on a little Mother's Day outing, and then about 10 past 4, tuned in, checked the score, and then just happily put the phone away, you know, because I was thinking, you know, the Wires again
Roosters are going to rack up another 50 here.
And they ended up sort of giving it a good little, the one the second half there, I believe, the Wires. So
good on them.
But yeah, Dom Young and then Dean Mariner on the other wing, got himself a meaty there for the Broncos.
Couple as well, I believe.
Actually, yeah. And
super quick, super nice footwork.
Playing some good footy this year.
From Deanie. An interesting way to spell Dean. D-E-I-N-E.
Yeah, very unusual. Luckily, we've just
definitely not a
here in the notes, nice and easy.
Yeah, definitely not a phonetically. Or was that what you'd say?
I'm for E except after C though, so you know it follows that rule. But there's many exceptions. To that rule there as well. Yeah. But then your back three, joining them in the back line, we've opted for a centre pairing of Jesse Ramian and Bradman Best. Obviously, the latter there, ripping up my Tigers there Sunday.
Yeah, a couple of really nice moments from Bradman, another man who's probably done just as much as you could probably expect him to over the last few weeks in order to pencil himself in with a Blues jersey, also following his Game 3 escapades last year on debut. And yeah, Jesse Ramian solid as always for the Sharkies there. Hell of a back five. And then we move into the halves with Ezra Mam taking the number 6 jumper. Hell of a performance from him on the weekend. He's definitely stepped up in the absence of Adam Reynolds to guide the Bronx to a huge win over the Eels there.
Yep.
Friday night was that one, I believe.
Yeah, playing some good footy with Reynolds out. Obviously needs to step up a little bit there and lead the team, and he's doing just that. So he's taken the 6 and joining him in the halves there. One of your men, Benny Hunt.
Yeah, Ben Hunt, I believe, stands atop the NRL try assists board at the moment with I think it's 19 or 20. His next closest competitor, I think, is on 10 or 11. So
Domination.
Absolutely crazy, and I think about half of those try assists have been for Lomax, or at least like 8 of them, or whatever, however many tries Lomax has scored. So pretty crazy stuff from Benny Hunt there. I may have added a little bit of additional mayo on those figures, but only 1 or 2. He's definitely like 7 or 8 try assists clear, following that Dragons Saturday night game.
Yeah, he's playing some good footy and involved in everything that they do. So that's your back line for this week. Moving into that forward pack, we're looking at 2 tasty looking props there in terms of Payne Haas and Mofo.
You could say 2 mofos.
You could say 2 mofos, well and truly. Payne Haas back into the team again. Been a few weeks since we've seen him there, I believe.
Yeah, look, we're not coming at you with a double barrel again. Second time of the season already, but he was a mainstay last year, Payne Haas, so there is a little bit of familiarity about the team with him in there, which I like. But yeah, definitely responding well from that injury that he had, and looking like he's just as strong as he always was. And then Connor Watson slots in between them, a man who's had an awesome few weeks filling in there for the Chooks, particularly sort of last week when Brandon Smith went off injured really early, and this week as well.
Involved heavily, Connor Watson there, and yeah, he's stepped up well, playing some awesome footy and involved in a little bit of everything. So he takes the hocking role this week. Moving into that back row, we've gone for a little pretty tasty looking combination of players here. Angus Crichton, David Fafita and Isaiah Yeo. What a triple threat. Obviously Crichton, since he's come back into the team, been absolutely immense. Is that 2 weeks in a row with 2 tries, I believe?
Yeah, an absolute punter's dream if you're stacking up on the Crichton anytime try scorer at the moment. But he's certainly come in after the last few weeks, playing some awesome footy, scoring some great tries there for the Chooks. Looking like he's back to his best. Isaiah Yeo, what else is there to say about him? He tends to be in the team every second week.
Needs to be on his game when you've got, as we say every time, when Cleary's not there, not involved. So yeah, he had himself a bloody good game, and David Fafita.
David Fafita, the man of the moment.
After some big news today, saying that he's staying with the Titans following 2024.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to. We were getting ready mentally, I suppose, to chat tonight. How he would fit in at the Roosters and what would happen there with Angus Crichton as well. I mean, you look at that. That's a hell of a back row combination. The Chooks could have pulled that off for next year, but Fafita, big old backflip.
Yep.
Channeled his inner DCE.
Yeah, exactly.
Done to the Titan. Done to the Roosters what DCE did to the Titans all those years ago.
Yeah, it is very, very big. So who knows what we see happen there following maybe 2025, whether we see him make the shift or not. But that is your team of the week. Jesus Christ, for this week. Now the big run is upon us. They're all off to Suncorp. They're all off to Brizzy. Magic round is here. As always, the Broncos get to have one of their away games slotting in there in Magic round. Yep. But we start off, then we have the triple threat on the Friday, is it?
Double 2, 3, 3.
2, 3, 3. Wow, that's Yeah, I guess you can't really
you can't really have one going on during work hours.
No, not really, can you? 2-3-3, starting off Friday evening, then 8 o'clock kick-off our time. You kick off with the Raiders versus the Doggies. Now the Raiders banking their free 2 points in last week with the bye, and the Doggies putting in a very spirited effort up against the Panthers. Probably a little bit unfortunate to come away with the loss there in that one.
Yeah, because what you consider Addo scored off a forward pass. He had that one where he was just bundled into touch early. There were a couple of other moments, I think, can't really recall them off the top of my head, that the Doggies might have capitalised on another day and picked up a win there. But not to be for them, but definitely showing that they're there with some serious improvement this year. They'll definitely be fighting it out for in and around that sort of 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th spot. I reckon that's where they'll end up. But look, definitely seems to be a huge shift in the players' mentality. I don't know if that's down to the young skipper that they managed to pinch from Penrith, Stephen Crichton.
Oh, he's got to be
with a number of other players that have really lifted for the Doggies.
Yeah, he's got to be having some form of impact, I think. Critter going down there and taking on that leadership role. Obviously, big game there for him, going back to Penrith there, up against all of his old friends and newfound foes. But they are, just having a look there, they're right outside the 8.
Yeah, but look at that. It's sort of like they've won every game at home and lost every game away.
Yeah.
Fuzzy one, but
they're playing some good footy. So I guess looking at that, you've got to back the Raiders.
That's
this week.
exactly what I've done.
Yeah,
that's what I've gone for. But it should be a good game, I reckon. The Doggies obviously look like, as I said, they're here to fight it out for a top 8 spot this year. And Canberra, you wouldn't write them off with Sticky at the helm. Some of the players that they've got, they haven't been playing the best over the last few weeks. They started the season off pretty hot, but seem to have fallen off a little bit. But 2 points off the bye. Hopefully, for their sake, they'll be coming in with a little bit more momentum, a little bit fresh, a little bit more freshness in the legs.
Yep.
But yeah, look, I've gone for Canberra this week because before I get into the tip, did you see? Speaking of Sticky, he signed on till 2029.
I hadn't seen that.
So,
I hadn't seen that.
Big news for the Raiders, I reckon. A team that sort of struggles to get big name talent down there. I'm sure having Ricky around for the next 4 or 5 years will certainly help bump them up. Yeah, tempt a few more that might not have gone there had it been someone else coaching. But big news for the Raiders, and I guess also for that reason, as well as the Doggies haven't won an away game. I'm tipping Canberra 1-12 this week, into Stephen Crichton to score a try just to juice it up a little bit. $10.32 it's going to bring you in.
Yep, no, I can see why you're going to go for Canberra with those stats there. I've just checked a couple of try scorers on there to start me off this week. Sebastian Chris and the big man Viliame Kickout. The 2Ks coming in at tick under $12 at $11.99. So a couple of meaties to start me off in the first game. Obviously your double banger of a Friday to kick into that Brisbane Broncos away game, away to Manly at Suncorp. So unfortunately Manly are the poor sods that draw the short straw in this one.
Yeah, I guess them and the Dragons not being involved, but yeah, Manly hosting the Broncos at Suncorp, which a little bit of dodgy dealings about it. I think we said the same thing last year when it was it the Tigers home game?
I think so, yeah.
Or maybe that was the year before, but yeah, look, both sides coming into this one with the home advantage apparently. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to go past Brisbane. I think even without Reynolds, they still looked pretty good in that 30-14 win over Parramatta. Ezra Mann looking very, very hot there in the number 6 jersey for the Bronx. Selwyn Cobbo with one of the put downs of the century, I reckon. Like, did you see it?
Very, very good try.
Contorted his body like a freak, really. Good try. So yeah, not too much going wrong for Brisbane. Whereas the other side of the coin, Manly, they've certainly slipped off the pace in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Another loss for them.
Losing Turbo doesn't help as well.
Yeah, well, I was going to say 30-24 to the Finns, but an even bigger loss for them is their main star man out on the sidelines with another hamstring injury. So another 6 to 8 weeks on the sideline. There's talk about him being shipped off to America, but yeah.
I say just get rid of him in general. There's no point in holding out your hope that everything can run through him if he's not able to get out there on 2 legs. Get rid and invest the money elsewhere. Get someone else in. I think that him and Pat, they're the two that we may not see ever play their best footy ever again. The amount of injuries that they end up getting.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking for Manly fans, New South Wales fans, and footy fans in general. Really, yeah. There's I guess a few people echoing a similar sentiment to you on that. I think it's hard. Like, I think only really Tommy and the doctors know, like,
exactly where he's at.
Whether or not it is just a streak of freakish bad luck, or maybe his body's just not up to, I guess, the intensity of playing fullback. Potentially needs to move to another position where he's looking at getting a little bit more of the quality ball rather than sort of getting involved with 20-25 runs, steering the side around in defence as well. It's a lot, but yeah, look, I also can't bag him and say the same as you. Like, it's tough. It's tough. I think it's a lot of money to be given to the bloke. I think. Look, if you're Manly, you're probably looking at making that next contract sort of a little bit lighter, just to sort of bring in some other balance around the side. But yeah, if there's any potential for even a 90% of what we saw 2021 Tommy Turbo there, I'm sure he'd slot into just about any side in the comp. But yeah, look, interesting to see if he's able to bounce back, come back this year. What they do with him, whether he does come back in fullback and they roll the dice again, or whether he comes back with maybe a different plan, coming in maybe centre, maybe.
Who knows? We have to wait and see. But you're right, a fair few weeks that he's going to be missing out on.
I mean, they've got Kohler there as well, who we saw in his absence last year was playing some pretty nice footy there at the back in the number 1 jumper for Manly. So yeah, there'll be some headaches over this latest Tommy Turbo injury. So yeah, look, it's a depleted Manly side. I can't really see Brisbane tripping up in magic round, but with the likes of DC and Brooks still on your side, Olakuatu, is he back from
Olakuatu's back, yep.
Ban? So they've still got plenty of talent that will be able to shock the Brisbane Broncos on Friday night there if they turn up and play better than the opposition, I suppose. But yeah, it's hard to go past Brisbane, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really see much value in going for Brisbane, so I've chucked another couple of try scorers in there. I've gone the 2 big poppers, Olakuatu and Payne Haas to cross the try line, and it's going to come in tasty looking 27.78.
Yep, that's very good value. Olakuatu pretty much guaranteed most weeks, so pretty much getting near on $30 for Payne Haas to score there is not a bad way of looking at it. I've gone for Brisbane 13 plus into Dean Mariner and Garrick to score 2+ as a duo. It's going to get you $4.16, but hopefully a little safer.
Well, it's
Not
not the most value in that one, but you're right, nice and safe. That is your Friday night action there. Leads us into your Super Saturday. You're starting off with the Titans up against the Knights. Now, the Titans obviously playing some good footy at the moment, finding a good bit of form. Beating the Cowboys in that Queensland derby, and the Knights unfortunately taking the 2 points up against my Tigs on the weekend there.
Yeah, I think both sides, well, hard to say about Gold Coast because I don't think we've seen anything anywhere near their best of what they're capable of, particularly with their players on paper this year. But they have managed to certainly bring it in a little bit, quieten the noise around them being the worst side in the comp. A close one over losing to Melbourne last week, and close one beating North Queensland this week. Probably also a little bit lucky. Similar to Penrith there, North Queensland certainly bombing a few opportunities. I can think of two pretty clear-cut ones. The Holmes one and was it Velame, and Brimson kicked the ball out of his hand.
Yeah.
That was insane from Brimson, but a couple of pretty much certain meat pies that North Queensland spilled over the line there on the weekend. Gold Coast lucky to get away with the win, but they also scored a few good tries there. The two for Feeters getting over the line as well as Brimson, but the biggest news for them this week, for Feeters staying on, so that's a huge coup for them. They'll be stoked with that. Definitely one of the most damaging ball runners in the comp, that's for sure.
Yeah, one of my favourite players to watch. There's no doubt about it. Fits that mold that I like to see.
With a big boy that knows how to move.
100%.
It's always been maybe a not so secret recipe. If you've got a big, fast brown boy on your team, pass him the ball. They tend to do quite well. So David Fafita, they'll be stoked to be able to do that. The Titans over the next few years, at least the next, is it 1 or 2 years? Player option.
I'm not too sure how many years involved there, but they'll be happy to have him sticking around, that's for sure. So they'll be hoping that they can bring a little bit of added oomph this week off the news of that. The Knights, on the other hand, not really having to really get out of second gear in that one up against the Tigers. I don't think it was the best of games, but we played pretty poorly, and I probably wouldn't say Newcastle were too flash in the end. They ended up being quite close. To
be honest, Newcastle, it was a bit of a, both teams really didn't play well. I think Newcastle just had 1 or 2 moments more. You think of that Dane Gagai kick right on the stroke of half time, which was a little bit of something out of nothing that got them a try. As well as Bradman Best setting up, was it 1 or 2 more? Did he set up both of them? He definitely set up the third.
Set up one of them, I know that, yeah.
With a good little pass there to their new fullback, Armstrong.
Armstrong. Ponga at the moment.
Yep. So Gold Coast versus Newcastle. Look, it's going to be tough. Newcastle's been picking up results the last few weeks, sort of against many people's expectations. So it's a good opportunity for them to pick up another one here up against the Titans.
Yeah, they'll be hoping
they might do it.
They'll be hoping that they can continue this little bit of form that they've found, and
Ponga might come back and they're still in the fight for the top 8.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Yeah, it's maybe not the headline game that you're after for Magic Round. Titans up against Newcastle.
Saturday, first game, they probably placed it there for a particular reason, I'd say.
100%. But I'm sure there will still be plenty of people piling on in, ready to get involved with the next two that you've got. But I have backed the Knights in this one. I've gone the Knights to win 1-12, and I've chucked in the try scorer from last week. Ripped us up, Bradman Best, $5.96.
Yeah, I like it. I also like it because our bets can both come off simultaneously, as we did have in the Gold Coast game last week, which was a little bit of a nod to the Titans. Good on them. I've got Newcastle 1-12 into Fafita. David Fafita to clear up any confusion. $8.46 that's going to get you. So a little bit of value in that one, I think.
Yep, I like that. That's your first game for your Super Saturday. It leads us into probably the game of the round in terms of the Sharkies up against the Roosters. Obviously, Sharks sitting top of the pack now after beating the Storm there on the weekend, 25-18, and the Roosters playing some bloody awesome footy. We spoke before about Angus Crichton, but the Roosters seem to be steamrolling through whoever's in their way at the moment.
Yeah, Sam Walker is playing some of the best footy of his career, if not the best. Luke Keary's been playing pretty well the last couple of weeks since that announcement of his that he's going to hang up the boots and the headgear at the end of the year. Joey Manu with a few moments, as he always does. We're starting to see what we've been saying about the Chooks the last few years. You know, they're stacked with these big names. Insane amount of talent. It's a miracle how they supposedly get all of that under the salary cap, but
very big cap that they've got there.
Yeah.
The Roosters, I believe.
The old one size fits all. I don't know if they've opted for that one. They might have snuck in an old triple XL.
I think they've gone for the old XL, after what I'm after in terms of hat cap sizes.
Definitely not rocking the one size fits all as the rest of the comp seem to be, but.
The old OSFM these days, isn't it? One size fits most, and unfortunately, you in terms of hat searching, when you're in there with the non-most, it can be bloody hard. OSFM seems to be the way to go for most.
Yeah, I quite like an adjustable one, like a full, like a strap one that you can, not a snapback, like either a Velcro or a like my Yankees one,
Yeah, but see, with my head, they don't look very good.
As your hair gets slightly thicker, you can slightly loosen it, and you have a haircut. And you can
if I have mine on my head, it's that loose that you've got the smallest little bit sticking out one side, and it looks a bit like on the top. So just not really a hat dude, but you're right. A big salary cap. They managed to sneak those underneath the Roosters, but it's like I said, definitely game of the round potential there. Sharkies wanted to.
Hines back was he?
Hines is named, I believe. Yeah. It's Sharkies wanting to continue that form, wanting to stay top of the table. Obviously, Melbourne will be hot on their heels. But they're gonna want to try and stick with that top spot. Keep the 2 points ahead of Melbourne for now, and I think we'll be putting a good message out to the rest of the comp. They go out there, they beat Melbourne, and then they beat the Roosters the week after, showing that that Sharkies team that sometimes can go out there and beat everyone apart from the teams above them. It might be looking a little bit different this year.
Yeah, look, well, if they can go out there and beat all but the teams above them at the moment, they'll be happy because they're above everyone else. It's been a knock on them, hasn't it, the last, 2 years really, that they haven't beaten a top four side, haven't beaten anyone in the top eight really, apart from sort of the scroungers that have been there at various stages. But yeah, they pulled off a huge win without their main man nonetheless. Daniel Atkinson standing up and starring for the Sharkies in that one. had barely heard of the bloke, and he comes up and
new
does
name
that.
there for me. Played awesome.
But yeah, an ex-Melbourne product, didn't quite make the grade there. Obviously, had some tough competition to crack with the likes of Hughes and Munster sitting there above him in the pecking order. So yeah, he's moved to Cronulla. He's got his chance with Hines out injured, and taking it with two hands there to be the main man for Cronulla. Guided them to a huge win, and yeah, if they can double down, beat the Chooks, it sends a huge message to the rest of the comp. They are ready to sort of hang with the big boys, not just be up there by bashing the rest of the Lilies in the comp. So yeah, big chance for the Sharks to make a statement, or potentially for the Roosters to roll through with their hot streak that they've been sort of pumping out these last few weeks. Averaging close to 50 points the last 3 weeks, so
piling on the points,
signs.
the Roosters. So the Sharkies are going to have to be up for it defensively, but they're a very good defensive team, the Sharkies. So I think it's got it's going to be a very, very
It's
tasty
got a close
matchup.
one written all over it. I
Well
reckon.
and truly, yeah.
I found it really tough to split the sides, but look, I'm going to have to go from Roosters 1 to 12. Angus Crichton to continue his hot streak, and Ronaldo Mulatalo as well. $18.58 for all of that.
Yep, so I've gone on the other end of the coin there. I've gone for the Sharkies to win in a close one, 1 to 12, and I've chucked Jesse Ramian in there to get himself a meaty, and that's paying $9.47. So two different results there that we're after for your middle game on your Saturday. Tees off what people were probably expecting to be a bloody good matchup, but the way that the table's looking at the moment, Bunnies up against the Cowboys, it doesn't really have that same ring to it, does it?
Nah, 2 years ago it would have been two sides fighting it out for those top 4 spots, but this year it's two teams that, well, certainly in South's case, down in the dumps. North Queensland as well, I believe, off the back of their 5th loss in a row, which
Something like that,
is,
yeah.
definitely not what you'd expect given sort of, I guess, the names they have, the roster they have, what we've seen out of them at times when they've been playing good footy. The post slinger of the round, really. Plenty of star names on show, but two sides that really haven't been playing great footy. I think North Queensland probably the lesser of the two evils. So yeah, probably have to pick North Queensland the way Souths are playing at the moment, but it's a good chance for them to finally bounce back and pick up another win. Silence a little bit of the noise around it. I don't know if we've had an official announcement yet, but I think apparently Wayne Bennett has signed a deal now to join Souths again from next year for the next 3 years. So whether or not that sort of puts Souths back on track over the next couple of weeks, we'll soon have to wait and see. But yeah, look, I can't really make a case for either side at the moment.
No, not at all. I think you've probably got to lean towards the Cowboys on this one.
Just based on the fact they've been less shit.
Yeah, they've got a few more points on the board there than the Bunnies do. They're not sitting in last place. So I've gone for 3 try scorers from the Cowboys in this one. Carl Falk, Valentine Holmes and Jeremiah Nanai to cross the try line. Only coming in at 8.75, but...
3 Cowboys.
Yep.
I like it. I've gone for one each. Jackie Whiten running out in his 250th NRL game, so a big one for him. And Jeremiah Nanai, he scores, or Nanai, I think I said the other week. And we found out that was the correct way of pronouncing it. 6.29, not as much, but just the 2 try scorers. So.
Yep, nothing wrong with that at all.
Take your pick, punters.
Or take both. No.
Well, yeah. Maybe make a five try scorer, or four try scorer.
Four try scorer multi. Beef it up a little bit
Chuck
more.
Jackie White in there. You're probably looking at about close to $30.
Yeah, I was only paying 9. I think maybe like.
Yours is 9. Jake Whiten's over $3.
Oh, okay, so yeah, you're about $30.
Close.
Yeah. That is your Saturday. We kick off your Sunday with Warriors up against Penrith. Now, it's an unfortunate time for the Warriors to be coming up against the Panthers. Obviously, they got Dick there on the weekend, the Warriors, and now they've got to come up against Penrith without their main man, Sean Johnson.
Yeah, no Sean Johnson. I believe Tuivasa Sheck is on the sidelines for about a month as well. Have a look at this team sheet actually. I think they've had quite a few injuries. It was the round of injuries, that's for sure. We had a number. Did you see the Titans only finished with 13 players?
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have anyone left on the bench. Absolutely decimated with injuries, loads of teams. So, oh no, Tuivasa Sheck, is he in there? Oh, maybe he was already out. Yeah, he's not in there. He might have got injured the week before.
Yeah, it might have been the week before, actually, you're right.
But no Johnson, no Rocco Berry. Tough for the Warriors. And as Rahman said to me during the week, he goes, so he was sort of writing it off, and he goes, actually, if we can beat Penrith at home. And I went, wait a minute, it's not at home, bro, it's in fucking Brisbane. But to be fair, there's probably quite a few expat Kiwis that'll be keen to get along and support the Wars living over there in Brizzy. But yeah, look, Penrith, even without their main man, Nathan Cleary, who was another of those injuries throughout the week that was. It's hard to go past Penrith really in this one. Both missing their number 7, so it sort of just cancels each other out, and you're back to where you were to start with, really.
I mean, it's a bit different with
Cleary's probably a bigger loss.
Well, I think it's more different as well when you look at the rest of the team
Penrith,
around them.
like the rest of the team around them, can lift probably a bit better than the rest of the Warriors can.
Oh, well and truly, yeah.
Without Johnson there, so the Penrith off that 16-10 win over the Dogs, they'll be stoked, but definitely a bittersweet moment to lose their co-captain, and huge for New South Wales, for Madge and his plans. Nathan Cleary, he's out for the first 2 games at least, so the Blues will have to do it without him.
They'll be looking for someone else.
Do it without him. But I can't see any reason why they can't beat a Warriors side that has, quite frankly, been struggling for the last few weeks. Have they lost?
I think since that Titans game, they've sort of fallen off the rails a little bit there. Not really playing how you expect the Warriors to see, but I've said it for a few weeks that that hype is sort of gone a little bit, and it's hard to live up to what they did last year. There was no way they were going to be able to go out and play the same style of footy and go out there and have Mount Smart as such a big fortress and things like that. Felt like a lot of teams had a little bit of extra love for the Warriors last year in terms of the sacrifices they've made, but that's done and dusted now, mate. That's the least of their worries. They need to get out there and figure out how to get themselves back on the winning train. Otherwise, they're weaseling their way into the spoon battle with my Tigers.
Yeah, they are definitely slowly turning from the Wars into possibly the Woes, you might call them.
They've got the woes at the moment, there's no doubt about it.
They've definitely got a case of the woes, and for that, I'm going to have to go with Penrith 13 plus this week, into Dylan Edwards to score, and also Taylor May anytime, $7.69.
Yep.
Just can't see anything but a big Penrith win in this one.
I've chucked those two in there as well, Edwards and May, and I've also chucked Isaiah Yeo. He always has a good game when there's no Cleary, so I've got him involved there as well. Coming in at $39.16 for those three, which seems slightly outrageous to be fair.
Isaiah Yeo will be beefing that one up.
Yeah, 100%. So those are my three. Obviously, both can come off there again as well. That's your first game.
Chuck someone's first try scorer in there? No, surely not.
I'm pretty sure.
You would have just clicked it in the anytime.
All in the same one, yeah.
Yeah.
I will do a little double check.
But yeah, that's it. That's your first game, your curtain raiser on Sunday, I suppose. And then your warm up is Melbourne up against Parramatta. Now, both sides coming in off a loss last week. Melbourne losing a tight one to Cronulla, 25-18 there with a late field goal and then a try straight from the kickoff off an awesome little return serve from Ronaldo Militalo there to weave his way through about 6 or 7 of those Melbourne defenders.
Unreal
and pop it
try,
around the corner to Talakai, who was just steaming onto it.
Yeah, what a cool try that was.
Probably as a bloke who probably, it's fair to say, didn't love a tackle. Imagine seeing Talakai full sprint and you're just there and you have to get in front of him.
No, thank you. I'd be going for the old Papali'i trip. I think sticking my foot out and
2 foot,
hoping the bastard takes a tumble.
Yeah,
not the man I'd want.
That was crazy. That was I guess the clincher for Cronulla. Otherwise, Melbourne were right in that game. I think they'll definitely be looking for a bounce back this week. They're definitely a team that loves a bounce back, and they'll be stoked to from last night's news that Harry Grant has escaped a ban.
Yep.
I think it was actually if he pled guilty, it was like a $1,000 fine or something, and he decided to fight it because he thought it was that bullshit.
Oh wow.
Maybe Melbourne did and convinced him to, but yeah, managed to get off. It was a very, very soft penalty, I have to say.
Yeah.
Makes it all the more frustrating for Melbourne to see old mate Atkinson giving Harry Grant a little wink as he walked off the field to the bin there. So they'll be stinging and ready for a bounce back up against a Parramatta side who a little bit of a theme this year. We started off with everyone sort of looking there or thereabouts. It was looking like a very close competition, but Parramatta also seemed to be a side that is dropping off.
No Mitchell Moses.
No Moses, no Gutho. There's a couple of good moments from their young superstars, Dylan Brown and Blaze Talangi, but apart from that, those couple of tries, Brisbane sort of tore them apart there, particularly Ezra Mam and Dean Mariner. There was a couple of really good moments. To be fair, there were 2 full-length field tries to Parramatta. The Broncos. So take those away. If Parramatta execute those moments a bit better, it's probably looking a little bit closer. But yeah, another loss for Para, another heavy defeat, 16 points.
Counting down the days till Mitch is back.
They definitely
next week, I believe.
He's not named this week.
Nah, not involved this week. I think it is next week. So. Off the basis of that, there wasn't much value going for anyone there in terms of trying to either snag a win from Para or pack a Melbourne win. So the new man on the block there in Melbourne, Whailongo, I'm backing him to get himself a double this week, paying $4.80.
Yeah, I like it. He's a hell of a player, and that's why I've chucked him in my try scorer multi, I suppose. Him, Cam Munster and Mike Asiva all to cross. $13.91 If those three all
I
cross
like
the line.
that. It's a nice triple threat. And yes, as you said, that is your warm up for the big kahuna.
The main
which
game
is,
of the round, I suppose you'd say.
I guess in a way also the Dolphins snagging themselves a home away game, playing at Suncorp up against my Tigers.
Yeah, it's more dodgy dealings from the NRL chucking the second Brisbane team with an away game.
Yep, 100%.
At Suncorp. So I guess another one where both teams supposedly have the home advantage. I think
I was really looking forward to this draw, I have to say, at the start of the season, seeing that we had the Dolphins having a little bit more positivity around where we might be in the ladder. And I don't think anyone was, well, I definitely wasn't backing the Finns to be sitting there at fourth, right on the edge of the top four there. So it's not as nice now, I have to say, rolling into this one on the back of 5 in a row that we've lost. Missing a couple of players for this game here as well, so we're really going to have to pick it up from what we were like there on Saturday afternoon up against Newcastle. I'm kind of hoping maybe that plenty of the crowd have maybe left, all the ones that have stayed are all Tigers fans, maybe all their, even though they're nice and close, the Dolphins fans compared to those from Tiger Town. Maybe with it just being the end of a very large weekend, they've all got too drunk and headed off home.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I guess you're hoping that the Tigers fans have timed their peak well.
Yep, timed the peak well.
Maybe the Finns have sort of peaked on the Friday night for that Broncos game. They're sort of in there doing what many Arsenal fan may have been doing this week, what many Spurs fans would have been doing this week, and sort of not supporting the home team. But possibly if they peak too early, they might bugger off. They might be sort of strewn across the streets of Brisbane, perhaps combing in the Caxton toilets.
Possibly.
There's plenty of Finns fans. I don't know how many toilets the Caxton is holding.
I don't know if there's enough to hold.
Not enough to hold
fans, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely not. I think there's quite a following that's been amassed over the last couple of years, and they've been playing some bloody good footy these last few weeks. Even with a side decimated with injury, they welcome back one of their main men in Hammer, the Hammer, sorry. Got to chuck the in front there. And the Tigers, 5 losses in a row. I guess it's hard. It's hard to say the Tigers, because there's definitely signs of improvement in terms of the performances, but the results they're just not coming.
I feel like last year we were nearly better defensively. We were losing games by 4 to 6 points every game last year to start the season off. Apart from that one big beating that we took from the Cowboys, but I feel like there was more games that we were in last year. We're really struggling to score any more than 14.
That's the thing. Yeah, really struggling to score points at the moment, which doesn't bode well for winning games. If you can't score more than 14 points, your defence has to be the best in the comp, which unfortunately it isn't. But I think there's some green shoots there. They just need the right TLC, a little bit of water and sunshine, and they'll come through. But I don't quite think this week will be the week where the Tigers can turn things around. You never know. Last game of the round might have a little bit of surprise in store for us in terms of what the bookies are.
Over a few people's multis, maybe.
Exactly.
Is what the Tigers are out to do. Won't be screwing over my bet. Ideally, I'm backing them as always. Tigers 1 to 12. And I'm going to take the man himself, Lockie Galvin, $17.36. He's little bit higher up there in the try scoring odds.
He's the main. He's the green shoot that popped out first. You know, the big one that's about 2 or 3 centimeters taller than the rest of them. So I like it. I've gone a little bit more for the safe option. Dolphins to win this one 1-12, and the returning man, the hammer, to cross the try line $5.17. So. Not bad value when you chuck in the fact he's quite a favourite in terms of the try scoring odds there. So that rounds out your magic round, leaving my Dragons with the shortest straw of all, missing out altogether rather than having a home game up there in Brisbane, off the back of a nice 13+ win. So
you've just had a win. You get a free 2 points. You don't have to make the trip up to Brisbane. Possibly not the shortest straw, really.
Potentially not. Potentially not. If you look at it in the long run, if you want to be if things go really, really well for the Dragons for the rest of the season, we might be in the hunt for a top 8 spot. And yeah, just having that extra home game might pay dividends in the end for the Dragons. 100%. So there's a long way to go before we even think about being in a top 8 battle. You got to be there around about round 20, and we're only just coming up on round 10, so or round 11 maybe.
Round 10, I think this one is. So.
Still plenty of footy to go before we start to talk about who's going to be locked in the top 8, and the top 8 battle even. But
you take the
3-2 points.
Exactly.
It's our first of the season. So
you can sit back, you can relax over Magic Round, and sink your teeth into 8 other tasty games and not have to worry about your team having a loss.
Yep.
Which is quite nice. Now, unfortunately, in the world of the round ball, it looks like the season is. I want to say it's done. I don't want to go into the weekend with too high a hope. After this morning's results, seeing City run away 2-0 victors up against Spurs. It was the first time I've really been cheering on Spurs to get themselves a win, and even harder after we went out to Old Trafford, took a win at Old Trafford, which we don't do very often, and officially went unbeaten against the traditional Big Six all season. To do that, and then after seeing the graphic today of the period of 5 games there where we lost the season, heartbreaking. Villa, Wolves and West Ham. Fulham and West Ham, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Heartbreaking in hindsight. Obviously a very good season altogether, and not too much you could complain about. Any other year, going up against any other team apart from this Liverpool and Man City side, 87 points already would see you
86.
No, we're already on 87, are we not? 86.
I think we're 86. The highest we can get is 89.
So, look, to equal our best ever season, to equal the Invincibles points tally with a game to go, shows you just how good Arsenal have been. But the fact that, it looks likely that we are going to fall short, down to the fact we had that bad run of form and the loss to Villa recently. Looks like we're going to fall agonisingly short again. Obviously different circumstances to last year. Probably a little bit more pride in the team overall, a little bit less embarrassing to not have bottled it, I suppose. Not that I was ever really embarrassed to have bottled it, because who would have expected Arsenal to be first last year anyway? The way it would have been the last few years. But look, a 1-0 win to keep our hopes alive, no matter what had happened at the Tottenham Stadium this morning. But a nice little move from Havertz and Trossard proves the difference on the day there at Old Trafford. Casemiro helping out with a lovely 5-yard difference between the rest of the Man United defensive line there. Probably 20-30 yards away from Kai Havertz, so just absolutely playing him onside, which was lovely. But apart from that, it wasn't really the best performance. A little bit scrappy, but you can't complain when it's the second win at Old Trafford since 2006, I think.
Yeah, that was the last time I think we did the double over them as well.
2006,
we take it.
Can't complain with that, but look, we're going to have to go into this last match day up against Everton. Our hopes shift from our North London rivals to our East London rivals, with the hope that West Ham can pull a rabbit out of the hat.
I'm thinking Moisey, his last game for the Hammers, he was once a Man United manager. He won't want to be seeing Man City win the league. He can go out there.
He's gone out there and he's been saying all the right things.
As for his London brothers,
he said they could pick their under 14 side and probably still win the league.
Yeah.
So he's been saying all the right things to spur his side up to, perhaps. I mean, I don't see any West Ham fan wanting Arsenal fans to win, but perhaps the West Ham lads have a little. London camaraderie with a few of the lads. Maybe Dickie Rice comes in, sends the lads a few texts. Hey lads, I know I get, but
I'm pretty keen.
I'm pretty keen to win this, and I could probably sort something out. Do a little bit of something to maybe Agent Dickie, get a couple of those blokes along. Wouldn't mind. Having a couple of them involved, maybe Curtis as a little backup for Saka. Although he wouldn't know Dickie because
Jared Bowen maybe, as a backup would be nice. Ward Prowse obviously there as well. He'd be a handy acquisition.
Who do they have? Is it Paqueta?
Paqueta's still there, but they want like an 80-something million for him, I believe. So
but you get Agent Dickie involved. 80 million, you'd probably pick that up in shirt sales if you won the Premier League for Arsenal.
Yeah.
First time in 20 years people would get a commemorative jersey. But look, I can definitely see us winning this one up against Everton. They've been playing very well the last few weeks, but the old on the beach saying might come into play for the Evertonians, hopefully. Just to make sure we can pick up the win in case City do manage to slip up. But West Ham at the Etihad,
we've seen
them win a very thin branch to be hanging on.
We've seen them win it on the last day.
It's still hanging in there.
We might see a 93rd minute Ward-Prowse instead of an Aguero that runs through the ears and. We can come away laughing, but 3 a.m. Monday morning up against Everton. I think it's possibly one I'm going to have to get up and just tune into regardless with what is on the line.
With what's on the line, I might just have to have a sick day on Monday.
I'd
smash that out.
I'd
go back to bed.
I'd love to. I could always, you can always lock it in on a Sunday night, we'll see how we go. That is it for the footy. There's been quite a bit of darts on over the weekend. Now, unfortunately, the one time I don't get a King of the Rocky going, the odds weren't there for me last week. The 1 week I don't get it, it's hit. Four players got it, and probably the 4 that I would have picked. It wouldn't have been very high odds, but it would have been at least, it would have been north of $1,200. So, a little bit disappointed I didn't get in there, but we saw Luke Humphries take the win at home in Leeds, secures his spot. We've now got Littler, Humphries, MVG all secured, and we see a straight shootout there Friday morning our time, the Asp up against Michael Smith to see who comes in, and I think there's still a possibility that maybe someone can take third off MVG. But at least locking in that 4th spot there in that one. So it is, I believe, this weekend we have got Luke Littler up against Peter Wright. Back in the nuke there. He gets the win. I believe it secures top spot. I'm taking the Asp to beat Smith in that straight shootout there. Humphreys to beat to beat Price, and then MBG to beat Cross. Paying a healthy $206.71. Check your $10 on that. You're coming in, $2,060. Happily pocket that there.
Yeah, that comes off Friday morning. You could, potentially look at getting into that, 3 o'clock flight over to Brisbane.
That could very well be on the cards. That comes off, and I might have to do it. A little spur of the moment, Henry, mate. Sweet to come crash at yours for
an hour up the road.
Can I crash at yours for a couple of nights, mate?
Crash at yours and borrow your car.
And Francis, mate, I might be away Monday. That's all right. Yeah, no worries. Happy birthday. So we're crossing our fingers, but that is Friday. We did have some more darts over the weekend. I said last week we're getting to see Hopes over the weekend. Now he came on about 1:30 there Friday morning into Saturday, or Friday night into Saturday morning, up against Florian Roish, I think is his name. Sitting there pretty at one stage, 4-2, playing some good darts. Had a 1-3-5 checkout. 25, triple 20 back down to the bullseye again, which was nice. Unfortunately, losing 6-4 in the end. We saw Royce go on and beat Josh Rock in the next round as well, after Hopes had already beaten Rock in the week. We do get to see him back in action next weekend in the Netherlands, another European Tour event, which is also the same weekend that we'll see the Premier League finals night. Sort of coming up, wrapping up shortly. We'll have a few more European Tour events, and the World Cup will be upon us just around the corner, end of June there, so what's that, 5-6 weeks away.
So we've got Hopes and
Ben flying the flag for us. They won the WDF World Cup this year, and it would be amazing to see them go out there and do it again. I'd like to see them get out of pool play. I believe we played Latvia and I can't remember who we played. It was Latvia and someone else.
Was it like one of the islands?
Might have been Ireland or Northern Ireland, yeah.
Because didn't we last year verse someone quite good in the pool play?
Well, World Cup of Darts 23. I know we definitely
Scotland. Was it one of the home islands?
I think it was. I think you might be right, and I think it might have been Northern Ireland.
Yeah, and there was some dude that was maybe in the teens in terms of world ranking.
It was.
Well, it was real good.
No, not at all. We lost it. It was Matters Rasma that did us in. We played Latvia and Bahrain. Bahrain was the other.
That's right.
Our Yusuf, we versed.
Yeah, that was a scratchy fucking win.
A nice 4-1.
And then didn't they beat Latvia?
Nah, Latvia won both their games. Latvia won both of theirs. They ended up going through. They were the 15th seed, but they go through and ended up losing to England. So we would have got to see Hopes and Ben up against England, which would have been cool. Hopefully we get a cool draw. It would be nice to see them come up against Littler and Humphreys or something like that. Even if we do go out there and get smoked, it'll be an awesome experience for them both. But yeah, plenty more darts to come before we get to the World Cup come the end of June. That's probably us for another week. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to give us a like, a 5-star, get involved in all your socials. Enjoy your week ahead, whatever sport you may be getting yourself involved with. If you're having a punt, do so responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yeah, we sure will. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now world test champions.